Today we have a new brand to show you guys. It's called Col and Macarthur, and we have a watch that is inspired by the space landing in 1969. They actually named this Lunar 1969, so that gives you an idea of what this watch is going for. You get a moon dial, you get a bunch of inscriptions on the dial, on the case, that actually relate to the moon landing. You also get a piece of moon rock in the dial. So let's flip the camera and take a look at a watch that is heavily inspired by the moon landing. Col and Macarthur are a Belgium brand, so they're actually headquartered in Belgium. I don't think this watch is made in Belgium. I think it has a Swiss movement. However, they make watches that sort of commemorate events in history. This one is called the Lunar 1969. You can see where this is going. You get their logo right here on the box. It's a glossy box, push button enclosure. Open this up. It's leather on the inside, of course. You can see there, Lunar 1969. You can see the dial immediately. Pretty awesome. It is a moon. Now, I'm not sure if they've actually taken advantage of this and loomed it accordingly. We will do a loom shot at the end. I really hope they did. I don't believe there is loom on the hands, but again, I will be finding out at the exact same time that you guys are, so we'll take a look. So this is called the white version. That basically means it's the stainless steel version. I think they make a few different versions. There's a carbon fiber version. They make it on a strap. They make it on a bracelet. They make an automatic. They make a quartz version. This is the quartz version. It is the most affordable version that they currently offer. So there you go. And there is tons of information on this watch. There's tons of details. They give you a certificate. There's a limited number of these, and they give you also a little booklet to tell you exactly all the little details on this watch. I'll do close-ups of everything so that I could show it to you guys so you could see what I'm actually talking about. But here is the watch. You're gonna see that you have a moon dial. That's probably the most important part of this watch, the thing that you're gonna notice immediately. I'm gonna go through some of the small details though. There is one other thing on this dial that is pretty cool, and I think something I've never seen on any other watch. There is actually a lunar rock fragment at the 12 o'clock. So above the 12 o'clock index, there is a little fragment that you can barely see. And there's a few reasons why. And actually, there's a few things I would change about this watch so you could see it a little bit better. One of those things is I would put a flat sapphire crystal, because this is domed. You cannot see that little rock that is right there at the 12 o'clock, but I will do close-ups so you could see it better. Obviously through the camera at this angle, from this distance, it's very hard to see. But with that domed sapphire crystal, it's almost impossible to see. So you also get that moon dial, so the whole entire dial is essentially a moon, and then on the perimeter of the dial you really get markers for the hours, and all of the minutes are sort of little hashes. But there is also coordinates all the way around. There are GPS coordinates for where the Apollo mission was. So that's what you're getting around the dial. And then there's the date right here for the Apollo landing. So that's also right there on the actual bezel. That's engraved in. I'll do close-ups of that as well. There's another engraving here. They're very lightly engraved. So I will tell you that you can barely see them. They're there if you want to see them, and it's really something that if you were just glancing at your watch, you would never see it. The crown is also signed very lightly again, but it is a little bit of a, I guess it's a tiny crown, I would call it, for the size of this watch, and we'll do measurements in just a second. You know, the point of this watch is obviously it's lunar inspiration, and you're getting tons of that, and I mean tons of that. You get very weird hands on this watch as well. They're skeletonized. I'm not sure they entirely go with the theme of the watch. I think that something a little bit more modern would have went well. These are black, and against that background, it's really hard to see. They're also skeletonized. You could see the second hand really well because it's gold, but you could see those hour hands, sort of very traditional looking hour hands. Hour and minute hand against a complicated background, they kind of fade away a little bit. I think it would have been better if they used something a little bit more legible, but There you go, that's what they chose. And then of course you get that gold secondhand. And the primary indices, you have a little bit of applied indices. I think they're applied or raised in a gold tone. And then you have that logo right there. There also is a small dot right there, and it's very hard to see. Again, I'll do close-ups. And that is the location on the moon where they actually landed the first time in 1969. And that is what they have marked on this dial. So pretty cool, as well as a little silver dot. I think that is applied as well. So very quickly, measurements on this watch. It's 43 millimeters, so it's not a small watch. It's not huge, but it's 43 millimeters. And since it's thin, it does wear a little bit bigger than the 43 millimeters, probably around a 44 millimeters. So it's 9.1 millimeters thick, so not very thick. And then 5.3 millimeters for a almost 43 millimeter watch. You know, could be a little bit bigger, but there you go. And the effective lug to lug and lug to lug are exactly the same, 50.3, because you do get female end links on the bracelet. Now, the entire case is bead blasted. The crown, the bracelet, the buckle, everything on this is bead blasted. So if you do not like that look, it's a very tool watch look. You know, there is no polishing. The only thing that is polished is the case back. You have the lunar footprint right there, and then it gives you the number, the serial number of the limited edition on the back as well. So it's a Swiss movement, so you get a Swiss quartz movement inside, and then a sapphire crystal. You get a sapphire crystal on the front. This is a limited edition, and that's basically all it says, and just tells you 55 atmospheres, so 50 meters of water resistance. The buckle is very generic micro brand buckle, and it just has the logo right there. You know, nothing too crazy, only 3 positions of micro adjust. The case, I believe, is snapped on, so that is something definitely to keep in mind, and you do not get quick release on the bracelet. I would like to see some quick release on this bracelet. I think they have the space to do it, so definitely something I would like to see in the future. Push pins for the bracelet, so I believe it is friction fitted pins on this bracelet. So not the best bracelet on earth, but you don't need to get the bracelet. That is an upcharge. I think it's like $100. So if you want the bracelet, it's an extra $100. If you don't, I think it's $549 as is. So if you want it without the bracelet on a strap, it's $549. For the bracelet is an extra $100, so it comes out to like $649. They also have a couple of weird options on their website. If you go to their website and look at this watch, there's a drop down that allows you to launch your watch into space, and it is, I believe, near space. And I think there's a British company that actually does this. They send it up with a balloon, and then when that balloon pops, it's actually sent back down to Earth. There's like GPS tracking on it, so they find whatever they send up. So they can send up anything. They can send up a sandwich, they can send up a watch. So there's 2 different options. There's one that goes all the way up into space, or near space, and then there's one, I think, that goes up to near space as well, but you don't get a video with it. And it's like $550 for that, and $1,650 for the one that goes all the way. So pretty crazy, kind of mind-blowing, but a little interesting little thing that you can do with the watch if you want to send it to space, and obviously space theme, pretty cool. So that's the pricing. Very quickly, I'm gonna throw it on my wrist, and then we will do a lume shot. I am really hoping for some cool lume on here, but we will see. So very quickly, today I have my Romain Jerome spacecraft on. Space theme today, so I have my spacecraft on. This is meant to look like a spaceship, and I think it does. It's a very weird looking watch. Driver's watch, linear retrograde jump hour, which is very, very complicated, and I absolutely love that watch. So very quickly, I'm going to throw the Col and Macarthur on my 7.5-inch wrist, and there you go. So you could see it does wear larger than, I would say, 43 millimeters. I think it wears like a 43.5, maybe not a 44 millimeter watch, but you don't have a giant crown. It's not going to dig into your wrist, but because it's thin and you have a very thin bezel, it looks bigger. You know, that dome to the sapphire crystal also sort of distorts all of the information that you're getting around the edge of the watch. It almost looks like a bezel. So that does make it look a little bit smaller, but still, even though I think because of that thin bezel, it does look a little bit larger on wrist. But there you go. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's do a quick loom shot. I'm kind of excited. I hope that they loom this. It would be really cool. Okay, well, here we are. This is a missed opportunity. If they loomed some of that moon, it would have looked awesome. But unfortunately, they didn't. They barely loomed the hands. There's little dots of loom on the hands, those black hands. There's little dots in the middle of the hands, which really doesn't make that much sense. I think they probably should have just skipped the loom. You could see where the loom is located on the hands. It doesn't really make much sense. In the dark, it fades very, very quickly, and there is no loom on the indices either, so telling the time in the dark would be very, very difficult and inaccurate because of the location of the loom. I think that they should have probably put loom on the dial on the moon, or at least loomed up some of the indices or portions of the moon, or maybe put fully loomed hands that would glow a little bit and give that moon a little bit of light. That's just my opinion. Loom on a watch like this would have been really awesome, but I think that's just a missed opportunity. I still think it's a pretty cool watch. I think that the fact that it has a lunar rock in the dial is pretty awesome. Now, it is gimmicky, but I think it's pretty cool. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. I want to hear from you guys. Please tell me what you think of this watch. What do you think of it having a lunar rock, of the moon dial? I love the moon dial. I think that looks really good. I'll do close-ups of everything so you can see what I'm talking about. Definitely missed opportunities. The loom, maybe a little bit of an upgraded bracelet at this price would have been warranted, although I have no idea how much a moon rock costs, and this is the first time I've ever actually held one, or one inside of a watch for sure, so that's pretty cool. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.